Motivation is okay, and it's great. I love motivation, but ultimately it's fleeting. It'll never last. And if you don't create self-discipline, you'll never see lasting results. You must create self-discipline in your life if you want to see results. And really what I mean by that is if you want to see results that last, things that aren't up and down, things that don't yo-yo all the time, whether that's in your health, your fitness, your business, your family, your work, whatever it may be, you have to have self-discipline. And the reason I say that is it's not like self-discipline is the only thing that you need or the only thing that you have to get good at in order to achieve success, achieve your results, change the things that you want to change. But too many times we rely on motivation to get us going and to keep us going. Motivation is okay, and it's great. I love motivation, but ultimately it's fleeting. It'll never last. And if you don't create self-discipline, you'll never see lasting results. So what I want to do is I want to give you 3 things today that are going to help you either start to create self-discipline in your life or help you master self-discipline. Because once you've created the baseline, you still got to work on it. You still got to be consistent with it. It's not like it's something where once you have it, it just never goes away. Self-discipline is something that you have to work at, and you have to work at it daily. So, first and foremost, you have to know your weaknesses. And, a lot of times it's hard for us to sit down and acknowledge, like, hey, these are the things that I really suck at. Right? It's hard for us to think about why we suck at them, how we're going to improve upon them, and why it's important that we improve upon them in order to move forward. But if we don't first know the weakness, we can never create strength to overcome it. Now, obviously, you've heard a lot of things like people say, oh, well, focus on your strengths and not on your weaknesses. And I believe in that. I do believe capitalizing on your strengths first and foremost. But when it comes to discipline, if you don't know what's pulling you down, if you don't know what's making you weak, you're never going to be able to create self-discipline because you have to acknowledge, hey, this is a problem. This is an area I need to work on. This is an area I need to strengthen, and then I got to move forward. So number 1, know what your weaknesses are. Number 2, remove temptations. So if you know that you have a weakness of overindulging, right? Remove the temptation by not having enough to overindulge in. You have to start helping yourself out by not putting yourself in a position that's going to force you to make a decision that you know is hard for you to make. So an example could simply be, we all like donuts, right? An example could simply be there's donuts in the break room. And instead of going to the break room, you create your day so that you don't have to enter the break room. You removed that temptation completely. You no longer have to worry about being tempted to have a donut. Not that having a donut is bad. Have a donut. That's fine. Just don't have 5 donuts, right? Your actions have to align with your goals. This is something I talked about in an earlier session and a podcast last week. your actions have to align with your goals. So if you need to create self-discipline, you can't just always overcome it with willpower. What you have to do is you have to remove temptations. You have to take yourself out of situations that's forcing you to make decisions that ultimately you know you can't make. That doesn't mean you're always going to have that issue. Sometimes once you've built a self-discipline, you're going to be able to face that issue, that hurdle, and you're going to be able to push through it. But in the beginning, you have to remove temptations. So if you're tempted, let's say you got a job or you're in business and you know you need to be making phone calls or you know you need to be doing paperwork and you're tempted to get on your phone and start scrolling. Shut your phone off. Put it away. Leave it at home. Put it in a drawer. Something that's going to remove the temptation for you to get distracted. Remove the temptation for you to ultimately fail at what you're trying to do. Okay, so number 1, know your weakness. Number 2, remove temptations. Number 3, keep it simple. Especially when you're first starting out and you're first trying to create self-discipline. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't still try to keep it simple when you're trying to master it. When you're trying to improve upon your self-discipline, keeping it simple to push yourself to the next level will ultimately help a lot. But especially in the beginning, keep it simple. Don't try to fight everything, right? Kind of like I said a minute ago. Don't try to fight everything with willpower. Remove those temptations. But when I say keep it simple, what I mean is don't create expectations and goals for yourself that, again, ultimately are setting you up for failure or disappointment. So let's just say that you want to lose 30 or 40 pounds, right? And you know the thing that you have to do is you have to go to the gym in the morning because you don't have time throughout the rest of the day or you can't make time based on your life schedule. Don't set out to start working out 5 days a week at 5 a.m. because ultimately you're going to set yourself up for failure. Keep it simple by condensing down the number of days that you're going to start and work into a more disciplined schedule, a more disciplined routine. Right? Keeping it simple would also be, if you're more focused on like the nutritional side of your goal, keeping it simple would be, hey, I know it's going to be really hard for me to choose the better option if I'm going to go out to eat. So keeping it simple would say, choose something in the middle. Don't choose something that's going to completely restrict you, but don't choose something that's going to completely throw you off. So number 1, know what your weaknesses are. Identify those so that you can start improving upon them, or that you can build strengths around them that are going to help you overcome them. Number 2, you have to eliminate those temptations, remove them completely. Don't put yourself in a position to make a decision that you know that you ultimately can't make. And then number 3, just keep it simple. Don't try to be, the world's most disciplined person the first day that you're trying to create self-discipline. And don't try to go from basic self-discipline to top level discipline every single day. I'm waking up at 4 a.m. and I'm drinking the water and I'm doing the stuff. Just take it a day at a time. Take it a week at a time. Take it a month at a time. 60, 90, 120 days later, you're going to be amazed at how far you've come when it comes to creating self-discipline. So get out there, create self-discipline. Don't just rely on motivation to get you through, but create that discipline, know your weakness, and ultimately allow that self-discipline to fuel your next step. And your next step will lead you to your results.